Okay, my first question is, why do the Murder Junkies not play Nashville more often?
Basically because everybody says Nashville sucks, and
Yeah.
so we're like, it's like, I don't know, we just haven't really had the opportunity or desire, and we finally just said, fuck it, let's give it another shot and, see what happens.
Excellent. Yeah, I know you have fans everywhere. I could not see you guys not having a following anywhere because everybody loves the Murder Junkies, especially in this town, seems like. So.
I hope so.
But my second question is, what do you guys think about today's music, and are there any bands left that are truly carrying the punk rock torch?
Wow. I mean, God, I can't think of any bands I've liked in fucking the last 10 years. As far as new bands, I mean, it's like every once in a while when we're on tour, we play with like a really good punk band, but the majority of the bands that we play with now are just metal bands, and it just seems like everybody's in a fucking band nowadays. So there's not as much diversity in the bands as there used to be. Every band basically sounds the same, and we're basically the last of the dying breed of the real punk bands, I mean, there's, like I say, we've done like a half a dozen shows already, and I think I've heard maybe 2 or 3 actual punk bands,
Right.
Out of 4 or 5 bands that you play with every night, so,
I know you go to punk shows now, and there's nowhere near the intensity or the fear of getting your head crushed in like back in the day with the Murder Junkies and Black Flag and the Germs.
Not at all, man. Not at all.
And my next question is, where do you see the Murder Junkies in the future, and if offered, would you ever play the Vans Warped Tour?
The what?
The Vans Warped Tour.
What the fuck is the Vans Warped Tour?
The Vans Warped Tour.
First of all, I don't know what
the Vans.
I know it's probably one of those Lollapalooza shoot-off things, right?
Yeah, it's for like the punk rock genre.
I don't even know who plays those things. I mean, I don't ever go out searching for any of that shit. I mean, if they came to us, which they probably never will, I mean, and we were playing with some, I don't even know who plays on those things, so it's hard to say, but what was the other part of the question?
Where do you see the Murder Junkies in the future, and where the direction your career will be taken?
Well, I mean, I never really saw that we'd be playing at this point, I mean, when I put the band back together in 2003, it was basically as a tribute for Gigi's 10-year anniversary, and it just kind of snowballed, from there, and now with the internet, we've been touring, and we've been touring the U.S. and Europe at least once a year now for the last few years, and we're working. We have a brand new guitar player that we're really excited about it. Francis, who used to be our singer back in the '90s, late '90s, he's now playing guitar with us. So we probably have the best band we've had in a long time. And we are working on new material and hope to have a new record out by the end of the year. So.
Very cool. Yeah, that was one of my other questions also, so you answered that for me. I appreciate that. How are the Murder Junkie shows compared to now to yesteryear when Gigi fronted the band? Are they still as intense as ever, or how is it now that Gigi's like, that he's not, you have a different singer? I mean,
the music is the same style and the same intensity. I mean, obviously, nobody can, be like Gigi, and there's only one Gigi, and that's why he was like so special, But I'd say the difference now is that people actually, will come up by the stage and actually watch you play, and actually hot chicks come to our shows.
Yeah. Yeah, you see the old footage. You see nobody up close to the stage, and then now you go to shows and people are just like pitting like hell. And
oh yeah, it's great.
They don't have to fear for their really life anymore. So yeah,
exactly. They don't have to fear for their lives. Exactly. They don't have to hide out in the corners. Every time you saw a Gigi show, it looked like there was nobody in the place, but they were either running outside or hiding in the corners or hiding upstairs or in the closet, wherever.
That's how rock and roll should be, though.
Yep.
And well, not to change the subject, but Merle, I know you've been pen pals with several serial killers over the years. You have even contacted collected some of their artwork. And how did you become pen pals with these men? And are you still in contact with any of them? Could you mention some of the names that you've
well, geez, all the ones that I have written to over the course of the last 10 years or so. Well, from the late '80s, I started writing to Gacy, and then in the '90s, I started writing to Richard Ramirez and Henry Lee Lucas and Danny Rolling. I mean, they're all fucking dead. They've either all been executed or they've all died in prison, with the exception of Richard, Ramirez. I haven't written to that. I've been collecting stuff for a long time. I probably have about 100 different pieces of artwork, and you can see it all on the serial killer, art page on MySpace.
But would you consider selling the artwork, or is that just?
It's all for sale. Yeah.
It's all for sale.
Everything's for sale.
Very cool. And you and Gigi, I know from the Hated video, you guys actually met Gacy, right?
Well, Gigi went to visit Gacy, and I went to visit Danny Rowland.
Right. And what were they like in person? What were their?
I'd never visited Gacy, but I had talked to him on the phone a few times. When he, I had him do a painting of me and my ex-wife's wedding, and so we sent him a bunch of pictures from the wedding. And when he sent back the photos, he sent back all the photos except one of my ex-wife's 12-year-old brother. So we got a big kick out of that one, Andy was perfect. He was like 12 years old, blonde, the perfect fucking profile of what Gacy was looking for.
Exactly. But I also know you're a fellow horror fan like myself. Who are some of your favorite directors, and what are some of your more favorite horror and gore films?
Oh God, well my favorite is like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's just my favorite movie of all time. Just because of the reality, how real it is, and even though it's not really that gory, but I just love the characters and stuff like that.
Right. Well, jumping back to the music, I know you said you had some stuff coming out maybe later on this year, some new CDs. Do you have any other new DVDs? And on your CD, I guess the guy that's touring with you now, he will be the vocalist on the CDs, or will it be Jeff Clayton? Or?
No, it'll be Paul. P.P. Duvet will be our singer. He's been our singer now for the last almost 3 years. And, Francis F.C. Murder will be our guitar player. There is a new DVD that just came out, the Best Of DVD, and Hated's been re-released, and like I said, we're working on a new CD that we'll probably have finished by the end of the year.
Very cool. Well, first of all, I want to thank you guys for finally coming back to Nashville and playing. It's been a long time coming, and everybody, I'm sure, is going to go ape shit at the show tonight.
I hope so.
And I want to thank the Murder Junkies for being on the Stick Elliott show and writing some of the sickest and most powerful music I've ever heard. I hope you guys are around for a long time to come, because today's so-called punk bands can learn a lot from you guys, and I want to thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. 27,